New technology helped facilitate the development of the West, encouraged settlers to come out because it made their lives easier. The development of steel allowed people to drill deeper wells, providing adequate water supply to the plains. Other things included windmills, barbed wire, and a steel mill. Steel mill working iron to create steel. As a result of this, we have better farm equipment. We have steel plows. The first steel plow was made by John Deere, and it allowed breaking up the land to be much easier. It was no longer done with somebody with a pick and a hoe. Also, the development of the mechanical reaper and harvester. This was done by Cyrus McCormick and has led to what we now know as the combine. And it helps make harvesting the crops much easier. In addition, we have the expansion of railroads. Railroads, of course, being built all through the West and making transportation and shipping of supplies much easier and faster. However, despite this, farming and settlement of the West begins to end in the late 1800s, and this is due to a number of factors, including the rise of industry. Technology increases output and also creates jobs. So things like steel mills and other types of factories create jobs that encourage people to move to the cities instead of to rural areas. This is urbanization, and more people are flooding to the cities instead of to remote areas to build farms. It marks the end of the frontier because settlement of the West leads to the development of a territory, a U.S. territory, and then of course eventually admission to the Union, making another state. A man named Frederick Jackson Turner actually wrote a essay called Frontier Thesis, which described how frontier life shapes American culture. Many of the people who did go out to settle the West and try to work the land had ended up incurring great debts. And this is because even though the land was cheap, the farming of it was very expensive and difficult. And this led to increased problems, increased debt for people who tried to make a go of farming. In addition to that, railroads were charging farmers outrageous sums to ship their goods via railroad. And so they can barely afford to pay the rates in order to ship their products once they actually produce them. This was a piece written by Don Ayers, and it is kind of an attempt to change people's opinions or stereotypes of cowboys. He's replying to some of these adventure stories that are being published, often in the shape of dime novels or cheap adventure novels. And he writes, "The other day I got my hands on one of those dime novels the Yankees back east been reading. I wasn't going to read it. After all, it was about a cowboy, and why would I want to read a book about a guy like me? But I picked it up and started looking at it. Let me tell you, I don't think I've ever fought an evil, villainous cowboy or some Indian scoundrel. I don't go around saving pretty damsels in distress, and I've never saved the day after a train robbery. I just don't know where these writers get these things. A cowboy's life is simple. It's a good, honest way of living. It's no big old story, but it's a nice way of life, and I like it. Cowboys, we ride the open land, chase the cattle around on horses. Oh, and we don't all carry guns. Can you imagine the cattle stampede or ruckus like a gunshot would cause? Unnecessary. We round up the cattle on up to the railroads. Chisholm Trail, that's the cattle trail I take. Oh, and another thing, I don't speak Espanol or ride with my amigos on down to El Paso in the Mexican sunset. Me and my Rosalinda don't eat tacos sitting by the cactus in desert dirt. Just because cowboys work the cattle in the West doesn't mean the Southwest. The West is grassy, as a matter of fact. Pretty prairie lands. But I mean, you don't even have cattle in the desert. There'd be no grass for the cattle to eat. And I know my cattle, just like any old other cowboy. So my life is no inventive, imaginative escapade. It is a down-to-earth country life that suits me just fine. In the next video, we'll talk about how the West is transformed by settlers moving there.